Fox 5 Health News. The FDA gives the company 23andMe the okay to offer home genetic testing kits for Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other diseases. But experts fear this controversial decision could actually backfire on consumers.
Joining us now is Fox 5 medical contributor Dr. Devi. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I can see why people would be tempted to want to find out this information. But what's the bad side other than hearing what you don't want to hear?
Well, so sometimes people do have difficulty sort of interpreting these results, right? Because you might have a genetic predisposition for something, but that doesn't mean that you will develop it. But then suddenly you have this sort of black cloud hanging over you. Will you ever get this disease, right? So I think that's the danger. And plus, you know, who do you actually see if you get this type of a diagnosis on the genetic test, right? Now, the FDA is very careful to say that it can't be something where people make their treatment decisions just based on the test. So, for example, if we think about other genetic tests, like with Angelina Jolie, remember how she got that BRCA gene tested and then decided to do the bilateral mastectomy? So this is not like that. This isn't something as decisive. This is just to tell you your genetic risk factors, you know, in terms of 10 specific diseases. So those are the ones you can test at home. I think for the most part, it's a pretty good thing. You know, people can do something on their own. They don't have to go through a lot of doctors. They can get the results. And for the most part, 23andMe got positive reviews in terms of people being able to understand what the test results meant, that the way they presented the information was pretty good. But on the other hand, you know, like we said, it is sort of difficult. Like, you might have a curiosity to see certain test results. That doesn't mean you want to see everything listed and then wonder, well, what does this mean?
They don't want people to get too low if they get a result they don't want, I guess.
Yeah.
Without professional help nearby. Gotcha.
Oh, I was just going to say, one other thing that was interesting about it to me is I used to wonder, how do they know if it's accurate or not, right? If you just go get a test sent, how do you know that you can rely on the results? And of course, they have to give that information, but one of the ways is it seems that they tested against genes for these conditions, so standardized genes.
Right.
So they look to see if the test can pick up the gene and if it can also not have false positives. So.
Gotcha. And we should say it ain't cheap, so you better want to do it. $199 to order this kit online. All right, let's move on to something trivial. Before you go to the gym, no, seriously, you wanted to know this, Audrey. Should you eat before workout or hit the gym on an empty stomach?
So there are mixed results. I mean, most people will say, okay, have something light in your stomach, right? So you don't feel dizzy, so you don't pass out from working out itself, but you don't want to have a heavy meal. So in this new study that they did, they took people, they had them exercise, aerobic exercise for an hour, but they were kind of at both extremes. So some people fasted, and then some people you know, had a heavy carbohydrate sort of meal. So you can imagine the people who fasted did better maybe than the people who had the heavy carbohydrates.
You just want to nap.
Exactly, exactly. And also the number of calories, right? So if you're exercising after eating that many calories, you're maybe burning off those calories. If you're exercising on an empty stomach, well, you don't have all those carbs, right? So you're starting to burn fat. So the study was sort of, you know, a self-fulfilling kind of prophecy, but from my perspective, I look at it, if you could have something light, you might have more chance of burning fat, but probably you do want something in your stomach because otherwise you might get hypoglycemic or have other kinds of low blood sugar or have other kinds of symptoms. And then the theory behind burning the fat is maybe you'll activate, while you're fasting, you'll activate these brown fat cells, which actually burn fat faster. So
you want to get to that fat burning part of the workout as fast as possible, right? Make it worth your time at the gym. All right.
That's what we want.
Good deal, doctor.
Thank you.